Hello everyone, this is Alonzo. Want to know how to get your first cloud job? Then please register for our webinar. We'll teach you everything that you need to know and answer your questions along the way. Hope to see you there. Hello everyone, this is Alonzo. Want to know how to get your first cloud job? Then please register for our webinar. We'll teach you everything that you need to know and answer your questions along the way. Hope to see you there.
My name is Richard Ferrer, and I can say I am cloud hired.
That yes, come and join and get cloud hired. I'm cloud hired.
I'm cloud hired.
I'm cloud hired.
Hey, Go Cloud Architect family, I'm cloud hired.
I'm cloud hired, guys.
So I'll just say I'm cloud hired.
I'm cloud hired.
I'm cloud hired thanks to Go Cloud Architects.
It worked for me, and now I'm cloud hired.
Because of Google Architect program, I am cloud hired. See!
I am cloud hired. Thank you, Mike and the Glow Cloud team.
All right, everybody. Oh, wow, I got noise coming in. Here we go, Impromptu Live TV. Welcome, everybody, to this impromptu live stream from us here at Go Cloud Careers. My name is Chris Johnson. I am the Chief Operating Officer. Let me do something. Show display names. There we go. I'm Chris Johnson. I'm the Chief Operating Officer here at Go Cloud Careers, joined by Mike Gibbs. He's our founder and CEO, and Alonzo Coleman, who is our Chief Marketing and Branding Officer. So the three of us, the three amigos, we are here to talk about a couple of things, a few things that we've got going on. We wanted to come here and make sure that you are aware of a few of the things that we've got coming up. So I guess Mike asked me to put this together. So Mike, what do we have coming up today that we want to make sure that everybody knows about?
Well, today we have the How to Get Your First Cloud Architect Job webinar, which we also like to call How to Become the Ultimate Cloud Architect. And here's the reason why. Not only will we teach you how to get your first cloud architect job, we will give you the wisdom and the insight to have a cloud architect career that will enable you to rise to the top like a rocket ship as opposed to staggering like most people do. You know, I became a principal architect within 2 years of the time I started in technology. And I didn't come from tech, I came from internal medicine. And here's the thing, I've spent more than 2 decades, 20 plus years, helping people get their first cloud architect job. And I do this webinar once a week completely for free for the following reasons. So many people want to consult with me because I've had phone calls with people and literally changed their lives by getting them a $50,000 to $100,000 raise, $50,000 of stock grants, and giving them the advice to get them hired. But it's 18 weeks to get on my calendar for a paid private session, and I hate that. I hate that, you know, after 95 magazine articles, I'm impossible to reach. So once a week, completely for free, I run these How to Get Your First Cloud Architect Job webinars, and we'll tell you what to learn, what an architect actually does versus what people think they do. And I gotta tell you, I've actually interviewed 1,000 AWS certified people, and not a single one of them could do the job. And that's when I started doing this webinar. And now almost every day I got a student that gets hired. Sometimes people from my YouTube channel just get hired just from watching our YouTube videos and learning what to learn. Some people just attend this webinar, and if not, they attend our training, and not only do they get hired at a salary they've never dreamed possible. So please join us on this free webinar today. We'll tell you what to learn. I feel obligated and morally obligated to do this because there's people that sell training that try and convince people you can be a DevOps engineer and an architect at the same time. They're the same training. And that's like saying you can become a doctor and an airplane pilot from the same training. It's insanity. And then what happens is people spend thousands of dollars on this training, and then a year later we have to completely retrain them. And why does that sadden me? Well, our average architects earn about $800 a day, and every day you're not working is costing you $800 a day or $198,000 per year. So if someone wastes a year by learning the wrong things, guess what? They lost $200,000. So that's why I do it. Now, Alonzo, why do you do these webinars with me completely free?
Oh, I tell you, Mike and Chris, I'm just extremely passionate about helping people. I love to teach. I love to help people. I love to steer people away from the mistakes that I made when I was an up-and-coming cloud architect. And I wish that I had the resources, the ability to get that access to people who demystify all the technical knowledge that you see in the white papers for people trying to find an access point to becoming a cloud architect. So now that I have that access, I've had the training, I've had the ability, I'm surrounded by quality people who have the experience and know what they're talking about, and working within a community of global interested people singularly focused on becoming a cloud architect. It makes just common sense, and it's just a natural thing for me to want to be able to help people get from point A to point B and be able to get that text or that email or that update about saying I got cloud hired. And that's something that you can't put a price tag on. You can't necessarily say, you can't quantify that when you say that I've helped someone change their life. And that's just why I do it. That's why we get up this morning to make it happen.
You know, let me add this. And today's webinar is at 1 p.m. Please, everyone attend this webinar. But I got to tell you, Alonzo came to me as a student. He got cloud hired. He was leading some very large cloud projects. And then Chris and I pretty much begged him to come back to this company and join us and work with our students. What Alonzo doesn't say is that he's a marketing executive previously with 32 years marketing experience. And he's so good at helping our students build their brand that with no experience, our average student gets interview requests almost every day once they put Go Cloud Careers on their resume. So Alonzo, thanks. Chris, we got a couple other exciting webinars to announce. Do you have anything to say before we move on?
Well, I mean, I'm just gonna parrot what Alonzo says here. I'm just passionate about this. Like I really don't think people, I don't think people realize how much our student success drives us, like just constantly just drives us. Like I could be having the worst Monday of all Mondays of the world, and I get a message that says, thank you so much. You know, everything that you did just got me 3 job offers. Now I have to figure out which one I'm going to take, or, you know, something like that. And I mean, just in the past few weeks, we've had at least 10 people that I know of. The crazy thing is that they don't even, some of them don't even tell us until months later. They're like, oh my God, I got so caught up. I've completely forgot to tell you guys. And I'm like, oh, thanks. I'm glad we know now. But we're just so passionate about it. So, I mean, we could do, we don't have to do live webinars every week and sometimes twice a week and do Q&As live on YouTube every week. But we want to, because it's important to us that we're actually helping people and not just recording something and saying, yeah, go watch it on your phone and see if you like what we have to offer. But are you know, doing it once a month or once every 2 months like some others do. We're doing it all the time because we like to interact with people and be able to actually help them, and we can only help them if they interact with us. So that's why we do it. So again, 1 o'clock today. Make sure to join us for this webinar. We're going to talk about everything that you need to know about our method of training. We talk about why we created the program, why the program works, what type of experience matters, what hiring managers are actually looking for, you know, how to deal with HR and those job descriptions. And then, of course, we actually break down all the things that you need to know and all the things that you need to learn to become a cloud architect. So whether you do it with us in our program or you do it on your own, we give you the whole, like, here's your roadmap. Take advantage of it with us or on your own. With us will be a little bit faster than on your own, but and save you a lot of time, effort, and energy and potential lost income by doing it on your own. But we give it there. We'll take your questions. We'll answer your questions. We'll help you in any way that we can. So make sure you attend that webinar. It's at 1 p.m. Eastern today. The link is in the chat box. The link is in the description. We're there for you. And of course, you'll learn about our program. We've got an award-winning program that's got hundreds and hundreds of hours worth of content available to you and 3 live classes a week. So you'll learn about that on the webinar as well. So make sure you join that. And I think we should move on to the next thing that we've got to talk about.
And that's exciting.
Yeah, so we've got something else that we're doing tomorrow. So after our class tomorrow, where we've got Dr. Johnson and Dr. Long from the University of Tennessee Martin teaching our students about decision-making processes. After that class, we have another webinar. So Mike, tell us about this webinar.
So this webinar is about how to win the interview. Now, you may understand that I'm a little passionate about interviews, but let me tell you why. When I left internal medicine, when I was a nurse practitioner and went to tech, it was the interview that got me hired. In fact, I interviewed so well that my first job was a network engineer 4, not a network engineer 1, not a 2 or a 3, but a 4, a senior engineer, and I never worked in tech before in my life. Recently, I had a student, Roy, he's never worked in tech in his life. He's taken my interview training and he's got a great sales background, and poof, he's a senior solution architect with a Big 4 consulting firm with no background in tech. So here's why I love the interview, and here's why I've studied it for decades. In most of these technology positions, there's a $50,000 to $100,000 pay difference between the top paid person and the bottom paid person for the same job, even on the same team. And I want you to eke out that extra $100,000 or even $50,000. Why? If you get an extra $50,000 over a 30-year career, that's $1.5 million. Now talk about your lifestyle difference just from learning how to maximize the interview. It's the difference between getting hired and not getting hired. And I love interviews. And how passionate am I about interviews? Well, of my $325,000 education, about $250,000 of it was related to psychology, sociology, neuro-linguistic programming, sales skills, presentation skills, and interview skills, and all the skills necessary to help people train. And for decades now, I've helped people master the technology interview. And part of that, I help people master, what do you call it, healthcare interviews as well and get hired for jobs that they never thought were possible. So I love it. See, the key for me is every time I get somebody hired, and it happens to me almost every day, I get this message. I'm all kinds of happy. I used to have a glass of wine, but I stopped doing that a long time ago because I couldn't drink that many glasses of wine without, having a drinking problem. So I stopped doing that. Now I have lemon balm tea. Still relaxes me. It makes me happy. It's my celebration thing. I send a text message to Alonzo and Chris. We each have our own happy dance. Some of us have better rhythm than others. Mine's medium. Alonzo's is pretty good. Well, Chris, he's the brains behind half of what goes on beyond here. His rhythm is not there, but that's okay. We love Chris more than you could possibly imagine, but we all have our happy dance, and it's the biggest celebrations. Tomorrow, we will have a how to win the interview. We'll give you a little insight on the resume, which is your bait to attract the right interview. We'll talk about how the resume will guide the interview. We will tell you what hiring managers desire and how you can show them that you're everything that they need. We'll even teach you how to ask the right questions to get you hired. And we're going to do this completely free tomorrow. Chris, what time is this? 3:15?
Yes, it'll be at 3:15 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. And
so 3:15 p.m. Eastern, we'll have this interview webinar. We'll talk, and like every other webinar, you'll be able to come on and ask us questions live because I don't want to just feed you information. I want to have a dialogue with you. I want to be able to ask Alonzo about your brand. Chris worked in HR. Ask Chris about HR things. Ask me about mastering the tech interview so we can get you hired. And we can get you paid more than anybody else, make millions of dollars difference in your overall career. So I care about you. I love all of you, my following on my channel. You make us who we are. And I want to know that we help you maximize your life. So, Alonzo, Chris, you have anything to say before we talk about the next really exciting thing we're doing?
Oh, I couldn't wholeheartedly agree more, Mike. We want you all to know that we support you. We're here on your journey. We're here to start your journey. We're here to push you forward. You may be hesitant about, is this for you? Can you hack it? Do I have the time? Do I have the schedule? A schedule that's open and available to commit to the program, and we can say yes to everything. We make sure that everyone, regardless of where you are on the entire planet, that the schedule is suited to your needs. The program that we have recorded, and other the live classes are recorded if you're not able to make it. So we try to make sure we make sure that everyone is cognizant that we understand your life, we understand your work schedule, but we have everything that you need to be successful in a wonderful community that welcomes you all and ensures that you have a great learning experience. So we want to make sure that you know about our Cloud Architect Development Program and how we can help you, how we can get you from point A to point B so that you will get an offer letter. So we're welcome, we're here for you, and we're ready to help.
I think Alonzo is still too excited about today's webinar. So So talking about tomorrow's webinar about the interview. So this is tomorrow is not just about architects. So we are here to help those in any interview situation for any tech job, whether it's a cloud architect, cloud engineer, any tech job. We're focusing on the interview and preparing you for the best interview. So this is not job specific, but it's important, and things that we include that we discuss. And again, you'll learn about our interview program that we do as well. But we share with you our methods and that we use in our program. So again, you can do it on your own or you're not. But the difference is in our interview program, you have access to coaches. But we definitely focus, like Mike mentioned, we put some emphasis on that resume because a lot of people don't realize that resume is actually the starting point. Before they even read the resume, you've already started your process, and you've already lost or won the interview on the resume. So we start with the resume. We go all the way through the nuances of the resume, the nuances of the interview process and the interview itself, because there's a big difference between the interview process and then the actual interview. So you can salvage yourself on the interview process if you didn't do the best interview. So there's a lot of nuance to all of this. That's part of what we do for people in our interview program. But again, we'll share the methods and the things that you need to know to put yourself in the best position if you're doing it on your own. And then, of course, we'll take your questions. And we're excited about this. This is going to be our first webinar about winning
webinar.
Yeah. So this will be our first webinar about winning the interview. So I'm excited about it. Alonzo will get excited about it when he's through being excited about the architect.
Yeah, I stay hyped about getting it.
So that, again, that's going to be at 3:15 tomorrow, Friday, February 24th, 3:15 p.m. Eastern time. Again, the link is in the chat box. The link is in the description. Sorry. So join us. Come ask us questions about resumes and interviews. Here are the secrets that we have to share with you. So take advantage of that. We will be there for you tomorrow.
And before you move on, Chris,
yeah,
I just want to say it's not just architects and engineers. We had a cloud architect that took our interview program that got asked if he wanted to be a chief information officer instead. So it's for people in technical sales. It's for people in product marketing and product development. It's for directors of IT. These are the elite interview skills that are known by only the highest paid people in the world. And when we teach them to people, it has a massive impact. Because guess what? It's not your experience that determines how much the company pays you. It's how desirable you are to the company. And the more desirable you are, the more you're worth. And heck, we even teach negotiation skills too. But that's neither here nor there. Chris, I'll get back to you.
And also, I dare say, again, this is coming from my background in HR, that I dare say that every single thing that we talk about is applicable to any industry.
Yes.
Regardless of the resume or the interview or whatever. These things are applicable. My speaking is not applicable, but these things are applicable to any industry and any role. But again, we're a tech company, so it's focused. It is infused with tech philosophy through it. But anyway, moving on. Again, reminder: the interview webinar tomorrow, 3:15 p.m. Eastern time, and our Cloud Architect webinar today at 1 p.m. Eastern time. So webinar today, webinar tomorrow, completely free. Learn some secrets. Now, there's another secret that people don't realize. I consider it a secret. And that secret is what it takes to be elite. And we actually have, I believe we've got, let me make sure I got it. Let me see, do I got it? Boom, there we go. Next Tuesday, what are we doing, Mike?
So next Tuesday, there's going to be an interview of an NFL professional. His name is Reggie Bonifant. He's a friend of mine. He is incredible. He's a running back, and he's going to talk about what it takes to be elite. He decided he wanted to play football professionally at age 7, and he'll tell you exactly how he got there. And we're going to talk about how that desire to be elite, that mental focus, the ability to fight through adversity and continue going no matter the struggle, how it got him there. Chris and Alonzo are also going to interview me at the same time. And they're going to look at me, who is an elite martial artist, now a yogi with 17 years of yoga practice and teaching experience. And they're going to ask me how I became a principal architect in less than 2 years, how I rose to the top at all these elite technology organizations, and how it was my focus that got me to places which would have required 15 to 20 years experience in less than 2 years. And together, we're going to both share the mindset of winning, the planning of winning, and how to get to places that people never will ever get to in their lives. And you can all do it too with the right mindset. So, part of being elite is I know elite warriors, elite martial artists, elite professional athletes. And the more of them that you're exposed to, the better you will be in your life. It's been said that you're a combination of your 5 friends because they rub off on you. And I spend my days with Alonzo and Chris and my wife. My wife practices medicine. There's Chris, there's Alonzo. And, those two interact with me. And Reggie's here, and he can't wait to join us. And Reggie, let me tell you, he is someone you want to hear from. Talk about elite, talk about professional, talk about a good heart, talk about a winner in every way, and a very classy, fine individual. And I'm real excited to bring him with you here next Tuesday. It's going to be an experience. You can't miss it.
Well, I know I am looking forward to the show because we get to flip the tables on Mike. And, normally when we bring guests on, Mike is the one interviewing the guest. Well, Alonzo and I get to interview Mike this time. So that's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to that. But it's definitely, it's important. So this week, while we made Mike take some time off, we brought in Dr. Johnson to talk with Alonzo and I about focus. And I'm just going to go out on a limb here and say that focus is a big part of what it takes to be elite. We didn't plan this at all. but in all seriousness, I am truly looking forward to that because what it takes to be elite in most people, I'm sure we're going to find out it's the same thing, regardless of what it is you're trying to be elite at. Whether it's Reggie wanting to be an elite athlete, professional football player, or Mike, an elite martial artist, or me, a elite, jovial, fun guy, and Alonzo, an elite marketing professional. I'm sure that there's similarities about what we did and what we had to implement to all become elite. So I'm looking forward to pulling and teasing out that information with Alonzo, because we're going to have to get that out of Mike and Reggie and show those relationships. And I'm definitely looking forward to that. Alonzo, anything to say about next week's show?
I am excited. When I found out that Reggie was going to be a part of it, I said, okay, this is going to be a live show. We always have great ones, but this is going to be one for the books. And being able to figure out how he got from there, how he was able to execute his excellence and implement his ability to be elite. I want to hear that story because it takes focus, it takes dedication. It is constantly melting that metal down, molding it, sharpening it, iron sharpens iron, and being able to just have that fortitude to move in and get that goal realized. I like to see how that's going to be applied in his life, how Mike did it, how I did it, and you did it, Chris, and how we can find that common ground so it's executable for our audience. So it's going to be fun.
All right. Well, so those are all the exciting things that we have coming up for you all starting today. Again, today at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, we have our How to Get Your First Cloud Job webinar. Tomorrow at 3:15 p.m. Eastern Time, we have the Winning the Interview webinar. And I forgot to mention, on Monday night, we'll also have another How to Get Your First Cloud Job webinar for those of you that have been asking for it in the evening. And then, of course, on Tuesday, we will have our Head in the Cloud show, What It Takes to Be Elite. So we look forward to having everyone join us, and we look forward to you joining us and asking us your questions and interacting with us. That is the big component that we thrive on and that we enjoy, is the interaction with you guys. So let me put these links in the chat box again so that everybody's got them, just in case. Any last words, Mike or Alonzo? I'm done with my words. So
I'm good. I guess I'm going to say I can't wait to see you on these webinars. Any one of you can accomplish anything you desire. When you hear from Reggie, you'll see how he became an NFL player and his dedication from 7 years on. You'll hear from how I went from internal medicine and 6 months later being a senior engineer and 6 months later being a lead architect. And you can all do it. Now, what separates those of us that achieve our goals from those of us that I don't? Focus. learning the exact right things, believing in ourselves, because I promise you can all do 20 times more than you think you can. And you just need to know it and believe it. And then going after your dreams. And then when you get there, either celebrate your win or go after a new one. And that's what it takes. So can't wait to see you this afternoon, 1 p.m. on How to Get Your First Cloud Job webinar. Hope to see all of you on how to interview like a champion on Friday, and hope to see all of you on Tuesday night. Wait for actually seeing half of you on these webinars, and we can actually talk real time live on camera. So can't wait to see you. Take care, everyone.
Take care.
Bye, everybody.